And now lines. Um,
Yeah, I'm gonna model for the rest of my life, or
right,
that's the
right.
thing.
I thought so too. I'd be like, America's Next Top Model. Short lived.
Right. Yeah, that was always a thing, but somewhere along the way, I kind of made a different choice just to, I don't know, explore or whatever, get out the house. I don't know what it was. Joined the military. Military went. It was a very difficult time. Got out and became a photographer, from photographer to graphic designer, honed those skills from marketing, and then became a model. Marketed myself very well because of the skills that I kind of picked up from the military to designing to photography, put it all together, market myself as a model, a freelance model at that, not signed. So, and here I am today.
Absolutely. There you have it. There you have it. That's it. That's it, folks. We're done. That's it. Essentially, one thing I love is in transitions, navigating the uncertainty of, where I am now to who I see myself. Because I think before you take those leaps of faith, it always goes back to, I've always wanted to be this, and now I'm actually just stepping into it.
Yeah.
And what was that like when you kind of sat down, like, I'm going to do this. I'm now out of the military and I'm going into that. What was that journey like?
Even when I was in the military, it never crossed my mind that I wasn't. It was more so when I decided that I was thinking about it, like things you couldn't do in uniform. Like I would try to grow my hair out a little bit more so that when I get out, I can lock it real quick. Not have to grow it out, save myself some time so I can get the look that I want so that I can model as fast as I want. Doing things like that here and there. I made up my mind that I was going to do it. Right. Just out of pure, just want to no longer be in the military. I realized that when I gained more information, I realized that I delayed my own process. I'm grateful for my process, but absolutely. I could have modeled when I was a teenager. I could have modeled when I was 18. I could have modeled when I was 15. It's a childhood career as well too. You can do it when you're young, but because I had worked in foster care and because I had this environment that I had, it didn't cross my mind that I should start modeling early. So when it was becoming close to my time to get out the military, I was like, yeah, I'm really going to do this immediately. I also had a lot of medical complications in the military that made me anxious to leave, So at one point I was paralyzed from the waist down, never got a diagnosis for it, didn't know what the issue was. There are a lot of things that are normal that I just couldn't do. I couldn't eat on my own, couldn't use the restroom on my own. There's just things I couldn't do. I needed assistance for everything while still in the uniform, and to still come out of that and to still say that I'm still going to model, not knowing what my condition would be medically, and for me, that boldness, that audacity. Now that I am doing it, there's still people that say, why do you do this? No, you're too short, or you're dark, or your hair is locked. You can't model with your hair locked. Yeah, I can. And so now I'm constantly affirming myself, constantly affirming, just like I did in the military, constantly affirming myself before doing it. And now people say crazy things, and so I still constantly affirming my worth, constantly proving my worth to me and to clients. Clients that want to hire me for things. How do I show my worth? Oh, no one's booking me for something? That's cool. I'm a photographer. How can I see myself to show my worth? And so I think civil rights look like that. I think innovators look like that. I think leaders look like that. And it looks crazy on the outside, but looking in, what it looks like is you're crazy because you're doing things that people aren't doing, or that some are doing. It's just not very common.
But it also feel crazy. You also feel crazy. Like, is it me? Is it me? It should be me. I'm crazy.
You feel crazy. But when you see the fruit, nah, I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. Or you need somebody like-minded to say, oh, you do that too? Oh, you're doing well? Okay, I'm on the right path. And so sometimes to keep yourself moving forward, you need people who think like-minded.
Absolutely.
You need people who can say, yeah, I've done that too, man. Spot on, man. Just keep going, because when you're ahead, people label you as interesting or weird or wrong because they don't understand. They just need a little time to catch up,
That's amazing, because they do catch up. And when
And
they
you catch
catch
up.
up, they do catch
Yeah,
up.
they catch
And
up.
when they, and
They
then
catch up,
when they
bro.
do, it's kind of like, I didn't know you were on to something. I just thought you were different. And they go from asking why to asking how. How'd you do it? How'd you navigate the
Right.
storm? How'd you
Right.
navigate it and stay true to you?
Right. Right.
It's like, because if you're in alignment and you're going, you're always gonna go back to the path,
Absolutely.
because it's in you,
Right.
and those visions are so clear for you. And like you said, when you get around those who see it, that's when it feels endless, because you're like, I'm doing this and it feels so big for me right now. And you have
Yeah.
others that are like, this is just the beginning, do
Right.
this, do that. And you're like, yeah, it's endless. It's endless.
I feel like that now too, though. I feel like I'm just scratching the surface. I feel like it's just the
Mm-hmm.
beginning. You know,
Mm-hmm.
being a freelancer or just starting a business in general, write down your goals. You have to write it down because people are going to say things to you.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to make remarks. You're going to have
Right.
doubters. But if you
Right.
write them down, you can look at
Mm-hmm.
them and you can stick
Mm-hmm.
to them. But based off of what people say to you sometimes, and you can internalize what others
Right.
say about you, But if you
Mm-hmm.
write it down, I promise you, you'll be able to, stick forward to what you say you want to do. If I say that I want to shoot a campaign for Adidas or Ralph Lauren, but I write it down, but someone tells
Mm-hmm.
me that I can't do it, the problem is that I'm believing
Yeah.
what you're saying. I'm not reaffirming myself because of what I wrote on paper. But if you write it down and make
Mm-hmm.
it plain, you'll be able to accomplish your vision. There's a power. There's
Absolutely.
something about writing
Absolutely.
something on paper that allows you to internalize it to do what you need to do.
Mm.
You know, and it's like a constant reminder as well. Constantly
Yeah.
reminding yourself, I can do it.
Mm.
And it's sort of like saying, I know he passed away. My favorite basketball player, Kobe, very sad passing
Yeah.
away.
Be the
Um,
legend.
a legend, yeah.
Yeah.
I grieved for a week and a half.
Mm.
Very strange.
Mm-hmm.
It's very weird to see what had happened, but
2020 is something serious.
2020, right?
So this, I'm like that. I'm like, something serious. You know.
Yes. When you look at his
Yeah.
stats, it's a good reminder of his fruit,
Mm-hmm.
of how he's producing the
Mm-hmm.
work that he puts in his private time.
Yeah.
That's the equivalent to writing something on paper. When you
Right.
write something on paper, you remind yourself what you said you would do and what you have done. Check
Mm.
it off the list when you do it. Just keep
Right.
doing it.
Right.
And if people don't do that mentally, just unconsciously, they'll just stray away from what they said they're really going to do. You'll stray away from your
Absolutely.
own vision.
Absolutely.
And you don't want to allow what people say to stray away your vision,
Mm-hmm.
because, it's really your responsibility and your business
Mm.
to accomplish your dreams, to live in your purpose.
Absolutely.
Anything else outside of that is
Absolutely.
somebody else's business. And
Absolutely.
you need to write yours down.
And you wouldn't even be able to replicate it because it wasn't meant for you. So
No,
that's the biggest
right.
thing. That's why it's building your vision. And so for me, this year, I remember watching my friend's podcast called The Level Up, and
Okay.
the biggest takeaway for me was separation lies in execution. So for me right now, I'm in grad
Yes.
school, and
That's good.
undergrad is like, what's a budget sheet? Like figure out what a
Right.
budget sheet is. And grad school is like, now apply it to 6 different businesses you know nothing about. Application. And
Yes.
it's so uncomfortable but to plan it out and then to see it through. There's so much I learned, and there's so much magic in seeing something through. And I think
Yeah.
that's huge, even with the doubt, even with the it's not going to work, maybe it wouldn't. And that's the thing. That's the universe saying, do you want it bad enough? Do you say what you want? And are you who you say you are? You
Right.
know? And if you want it easier, do you want it great? And it's so specific to you that even during that process, you get to know more about yourself.
Yes.
You get to
That's a
discover
good point.
new people in new
That's a
places,
good
and you're
point.
like, yeah, this is
That's a
worth
good
it.
point.
And opening that up over and over again and saying, this is uncomfortable, but this is a new part of me. To get to who I want to be, the woman I envision so clearly. Sometimes I wake up and
Right.
I see her like, yo, I know that's you.
Yeah.
You may be overlooked by people, but you are not overlooked by your creator, and the visions that's
Absolutely.
brought for you. So I think that's key, but plan it out and see it through the daily habits of who you are. Like, can I see what you're trying to get to without you even saying a word?
Right.
Are you living
Right.
that? Are you
Right.
living that? Are you
Right.
living that?
I think you said something really key. You said, your identity,
Sean.
I don't think
Yeah.
that people really realize
Mm.
that your personality and your character is directly tied to your talents, gifts, um, everything that you kind of possess as far as what you love to do. And
My coach says that all the time. Like, don't let your
yeah,
talent take you where your discipline can't keep you, or where your
yes,
character can't
that's
keep you,
good.
because you'll die
Right.
in the
Right.
process.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Someone said in the comments that life is a challenge.
Mm.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
For anybody who's a creative or just a business owner or entrepreneur or influencer or blogger or whatever the case may be, whatever you want to put as a title on that.
Right.
If you're not where you want to be, but you want to transition, I would love to say that execution is incredibly important, one.
Yeah.
And two, you need confidence to start and consistency to finish.
Confidence to start, consistency to finish.
Yes.
Yes.
You have to be able to finish strong. You know,
Absolutely.
because it is very true that doesn't matter how you start, it's how you finish. I think people sometimes like they don't know that some people don't even know how I started. You know, they don't know that I did photography. They don't know that I was a graphic designer. They don't know that I want to be a professional writer. They don't know that I was in the army, so I understand the fitness thing. They don't understand disciplines. You pick up in the army with Eden, so you put it in practice with modeling. They don't understand, you know. And so I think it's really key to be able to say, this is who I'm going to be. And I truly believe that regardless of what he or she say, even respectfully, even if it's your mother, your father, friend, best friend, girlfriend, boyfriend, believe it in yourself and saying that you can. Being honest with yourself, too, with your goals, and not just throwing something out there.
Honesty is huge.
Will Smith said something really good. It's on the edge. It really is on the edge. He goes, plan B for what? I don't need a plan B. It distracts from plan A, you know. And I don't know if I entirely agree with it or not, but I understand the principle of what he's saying.
Yeah.
You know, I understand what he's saying is go 1,000%. That's it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You don't have to split that 500, 500. Go 1,000%. It's not 50-50.
Right.
You know, it's 100. That's just what it is. You know, and he's an excellent reference to success in the industry, or just online management or marketing, or he's that guy, you know, transitioning from nothing to something. Michael B. Jordan grew up when my father grew up. When my father raised was in Newark, New Jersey. Newark is trash. Newark is not beautiful.
I've been in Newark,
Yeah, Newark is not the most beautiful place in the world.
Progressive.
Michael B. Jordan, you know,
Progressive.
from New York. Right. Came out good. Execution.
Yeah.
You know, execution. So
yeah.
Be about what you think. Be about what you talk about. So
absolutely. And so with that, you kind of touched on it a little bit of, you know, the daily grind, what it takes, and how everything stemmed into where you are today, you know, the little pieces, all of your work and your background experience, what people don't know. They just see you here and they're like, yeah, that's it. You know, I can do that. Can you kind of touch on, you know, right now being at home? I feel like a lot of people and creatives, you go through this internal work, you know, and I like to work on me. You know, I like to spend time with family. I like to reflect. I like to just be present, and, you know, things start to awaken and kind of arise, like, you know, going live. I was like, I love this, and I love this concept. How do you spend time just with you, or through self-discovery, when you're, you know, being brutally honest with yourself and saying, this is something I want to change, this is something I want to improve? And does that specifically pertain to just your holistic growth or your field?
I think that's definitely holistic growth, because what I'm doing is I'm not rushing to put things out. I'm allowing engagement from you to go down online. You know, I am taking my time. I'm putting things online on my page and on my website that I know for the majority of my audience they were not supporting. You know, so, you know, and I'm learning to tell myself, I want to do this, and I'm gonna do this. You know, and why do I like this so much? You know, why do I like when things look like this instead of when they look minimal? Why do I like these things? Creatives right now, one, they should be present online for sure, but they shouldn't be rushing like they were before. You know? Before, they shouldn't have been. You know, people sometimes have a race for like to post content. Maybe you know what it's like.
Trends.
You know, right. I gotta post. I can only post what I know it's gonna work. Now, I think it's a great time to, yeah, sure, postal works, but
Mm-hmm.
now's the time to exercise some new things, new ways to share about who you are. Now's the time to be transparent. Now's the time to
Mm-hmm.
be relatable. Now's the time to see what can I add to my plate, for
Mm-hmm.
my branding or for my marketing, or now's the time to do that.
Mm-hmm.
When you have nowhere to go,
Right.
you know, take the
Right.
time to spend some time with yourself to figure out what it is that you really want to do. Because right
Mm-hmm.
now, you need to take that time, because if the hype goes down for your business, would you still do what you do? Now's the perfect time to
Mm-hmm.
figure out what you want to do for a transition. Are
Wow.
you stuck in the hype of a like or a comment, or, a
Mm-hmm.
DM, or do you really like what you say you're doing? Because right now it's a tough time for everybody. Right now is a
Yeah.
tough time. CEO of
Yeah.
T-Mobile stepped down. A few of the big
Goodness.
organizations, just a few billionaires who fired 80 of their employees without
Mm-hmm.
notice. They're doing really well, but
Yeah.
you know, it's a
Yeah.
tough time for everybody. Doesn't matter how rich you are. It doesn't matter how
Mm-hmm.
poor you are. It doesn't matter if you're middle
Mm-hmm.
class. It don't matter if you own a jet. It's a tough time for everybody right now. And so
Right.
now for creators, it's a perfect time to slow down and
Mm-hmm.
figure out if you really want to do this. Do
Right.
you really want to do what you say you want to do? And the great way to test that is
Mm-hmm.
post something that you know isn't what people usually like on your page. And because you like
Mm-hmm.
it, because you like it, because you like it, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and this is the time. Do you really want to do this or not? You know,
Mm-hmm.
this is a
Yeah.
time of honesty and perfect time for self-reflection.
Right. And I think for me, when I first entered what I do right now is sport management, with a focus on human rights, the professor asked us on the first day of class, are you willing to fight for change you won't see
Mm,
happen? Do you want it that bad? And are you
yeah,
are you in it for the long run, or are you just in it for now?
it's a tough question.
Um, because it'll take all of you, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. When you're in this line of work, there's 9 to 5s and there's 24/7s.
Yeah,
And I think for most people, it's a 24/7. I live this, I breathe this. It feels so innate to me at times. And so I definitely think always asking yourself, am I willing to put in work that I may not see flourish, but I believe in this, And I love that Lauren Hill, I love just her kind of her
yeah, I
story.
love
She put out one
her.
album.
Yeah,
She put out one album and she's relevant.
it's
And in it,
crazy.
she said in the interview, on the MTV interviews on the legendary couches, she said, I put my soul into it.
Mm,
That's it. I just put
yeah,
my soul into it. I'm like, she's relevant off one album.
yeah, yeah. One album. Yeah,
What are we really doing? What are we really doing out here? And we laugh at the one hit wonders, but there was that moment where it was right, and working to find that, because it's like I was intentional about the work that I did. I didn't just put out everything.
yeah,
And it's also interesting because once you put out something different on your page, I asked my friend the other day, I said, can you help me market my page a little bit? They said, yours is random. That's what we expect at this point, that's I was upset. I was looking at
yeah.
color schemes. I was like, okay, light yellow. They're like, your page doesn't make sense. But that's what we
Yeah.
love.
Right, right, right,
I was
right,
offended in the moment.
right.
But I understood because it was constantly rediscovering myself in new ways. And then once I put that, it was like the same people I was connected with in that group, hey, yeah, I relate to that as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Or maybe I'll explore that further and see how in the end we're all connected, So
Absolutely.
definitely. So is there anything else in regards to, I was saying earlier today, I should have named it, sports and impact and not sports and influence. I think that fluctuates, but I think impact
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
impact lasts, and I think
Right.
I feel like it's about impact. So what is kind of the impact you are working to leave within yourself or your community
Yeah.
or the greater good?
So basically, I've made it my business to make an impact on people's
Mm.
self-esteem, people's confidence.
Yeah.
I know that I can't do the internal work for people. Absolutely not. It's just not humanly
Mm.
possible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, God, or, I can't do that work for anybody. You have to do that
Mm-hmm.
work yourself. But
Yeah.
um, I would just love to leave the impact that, realize that you're valuable, that
Mm.
you're valuable.
Yeah.
Through transparency, show that in my captions, through
Mm.
photography,
Mm.
posing, creative storytelling through photography and modeling,
Right.
poetry, to let people know that they don't have to
Mm-hmm.
feel the way that they feel. They don't have to internalize things people say about them.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't ever ran across anybody who hasn't dealt with that. You know, I think
Right.
it's such so interpersonal. You know, I
And
think
it's a journey. You're
it's
never
such a
becoming. You never
journey.
become. You never wake up. I love myself. It's today I see you.
Right,
And I
right, right, right,
appreciate you. We're
right.
gonna get through this. You
And
know,
you're
and give
going
yourself
down forward
grace.
and backward. You know, like you're gonna.
Yeah.
Some days you're gonna be. Some days it's yeah, I'm great, and then some days it's I'm not. Yeah. Someone said something to me, and I thought I was good, but I guess I internalized it, and
Mm,
so
yeah.
I gotta work on myself a little bit more. You know, you never really
Hmm.
arrive.
Yeah.
You know, you
Yeah.
never really arrive. You get better,
Mm.
but you never really arrive, and I think that's beautiful too. I think that's
Right.
beautiful. I don't think I ever
Absolutely.
necessarily want to arrive. I stop
Right.
learning. You know, you
Right.
stop learning, you stop teaching, you stop being relatable when you arrive.
Hmm.
I don't never want to feel like I arrive, you know. But I just want to leave that impact, let people know like where their self-esteem really comes from, where
Hmm.
their confidence really comes from, to
Mm.
inspire impact and misplaced confidence, low self-esteem globally, be able to fix those things. And
Yeah.
you know, I know I can't, like I said, I know I can't do the work internally, but
Hmm.
what can I say to you to
Mm.
help convince yourself, to
Yeah.
help change your thinking about you through my journey, through my thoughts, through
Mm.
my thoughts. I shared on the army post that you know, I had attempted suicide, and there
Mm.
was multiple times where it's just like plenty times it was a thought, you know, it was dark
Hmm.
times, you know.
Hmm. Hmm.
Just being honest with people
Right.
about where you were and how you are now. People say
Hmm.
all the time, I knew it wasn't just a handsome face. I'm like, thank you so much, you know, like, you know, because that was the
Yeah.
intent. I'm not trying to
Mm.
be handsome. I'm trying to be
Mm.
creative.
I'm trying
You
to be
know,
real.
trying to be real, you
Trying to
know,
be real.
just trying to be real, you know, and
Legit.
being real looks creative and it looks honest, and being real
Hmm.
looks for great leadership.
Absolutely.
Because people don't want to follow a leader who's always right, but rather a leader who's always real. And people can deal with that, but
Mm.
you know,
Be
y'all
real,
trying to be an
not right.
influencer. Right,
Hmm.
real, not right. You know, you out
Hmm.
trying to be an influencer or creative or a business owner, you're always trying to be
Hmm.
right. Good luck. You know, people want real, people want honest,
Hmm.
people want transparent, people want relatable.
Hmm.
And I think if I can, you know, base, you know, my legacy on self-esteem and confidence, doesn't get any
Mm.
more real than that. It doesn't get any more honest than that, you know.
Hmm.
And just not holding back on stories, you know, not holding back on what I
Yeah.
went through in foster care, not
Mm.
holding back on, sometimes it's not even others, the thoughts in my head. And, you know, just the honesty of it all is beautiful.
Hmm.
And that's the legacy that I want to leave.
So, my man speaking some facts. Okay. Brought to you live. um, but essentially, you know, now I'm getting to reflection zone.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
think people don't understand. Like you ask questions, but I really like to sit and reflect. That's another thing about application.
Yeah.
We take things, we get information, we run with it. You know, we consume, we do on the feed. We just, you know, we overeat on social media mentally. You know,
Right.
and so it becomes drawn
Right.
out. But I like to sit with it for a little bit. Like, yeah, you know, self-esteem. And I always think about when you show up. So someone mentioned the other day, when you show up in your light and you show up as who you are, you allow everyone else to do so. And in that
Yes.
moment, it's not limiting. You know, in that moment, there's room, and it feels abundant, and it feels good. And it feels like, yeah, I can be anything, and I don't have to be perfect to be it, but I can just show up.
Right.
And that's
Right.
that's so important. I can show up as me, all of me. At any point in time. And so self-esteem is huge. And I felt that once I started to appreciate, you know, myself, I was able to give and to receive in a more organic fashion that felt good.
Yeah.
And it was better, you know, in terms of the work that I did, the relationships that I had, the things I wanted to pursue, it just felt better.
Right.
It wasn't easy, not
Right.
easy,
Right. Right.
but it felt better. And so I definitely think self-esteem is so huge. The journey to yourself, the journey that is in the daily habits, you know, time after time again, choosing to say, you know, I'm going to work on me.
Right.
I'm going to choose to love me, even though it's not easy. And there's a lot that comes with, but self-esteem is huge. That's real.
And I'm doing the best I can, you know, and being
Yeah,
honest with yourself.
can.
Are you really doing the best you can? You know,
Yeah.
honestly, are you really doing the
Hmm.
best you can? Are you
Hmm.
right now? Are you doing the best you can? Or you
Yeah.
thought you did? If you genuinely think you did, great. You know,
Hmm.
and living with that. You know, living with
Mm.
the mistakes. You know,
Yeah.
character faults. Being socially whatever, whether you're
Hmm.
socially great or socially awkward or
Hmm.
whatever, living with it and just being honest and saying like I'm okay with where I'm at and
Mm.
I'll get better. You know,
Mm.
not allowing what people may whisper about you or not second guessing what you want to say in a room full of people because you don't want to overhear somebody say something like, "Oh, he's weird," or "She's weird." You know.
Was there like a distinct moment where you kind of were just sitting and you're like, I'm at peace, like I'm okay? Like, did it feel like that, or was it a series of those moments?
It's more like a series. More like at first I was very like aggressive about, you know, people would say something and I would say, "Hey, yo, chill out." You know, like, I'm not doing that. That's not how I am. I'm telling me that I can't wear 2 long sleeve shirts. I'm wearing two long sleeve shirts.
Right.
I'm going to wear 2 long sleeve shirts and a hoodie, and the hoodie going to be longer than the long sleeve shirts.
Okay.
You know, I was aggressive to defend. I didn't want to internalize what people were saying. So the internal work that I should have been doing, I was voicing it verbally. I shouldn't have done that. You know, I lived with that mistake. Like, okay, I can't say that out loud. I got to do that work on the inside, quiet. You know, you imagine telling somebody off, you know, in your head, you know, and then saying it out loud. It's like, oh, I didn't have to say that to you. All I have to do is do it. Just not internalize it. You know.
Yeah.
People shouldn't question what they're going to say or how they're going to feel before something is said or felt. You know. Taking the time to say, in your quiet time now, taking the time to say, like for me, I listen to a lot of lo-fi music.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you know what that is. It's just instrumentals that sound really jazzy and hip-hoppy, but really relaxing. I used to study my schoolwork for dental assistant. And I just listen to it and I just sit there and I don't try to create anything. I just just hear, you know, and like, how do I feel today? Like, am I straight? Am I not straight? Am I good? Am I not good? And
the home frequency.
Yeah. And not feeling like I always have to be on a hype. You know? I gotta listen to some, you know, like, no, it's okay to listen to this music. Some judging yourself.
Yeah, I think that's real. And I kind of, just to kind of lead the people, I feel like for myself, I love a good daily routine. And I think we love routines, but I realized I wasn't checking in on those routines. So it was the same of like, I'm trying to conquer this energy. You know, I need to get ready in the morning. But some days I have more energy than others. Right. You know, some days I needed this and I needed that. So for me, it was like sticking with the routine, you know, as a basketball player, or, you know, probably having loving itineraries, and you kind of go through the daily practices. You know, I'm always like, what's the itinerary for today? And that still exists, you know, in the runs. But sometimes it's like, you know, I need to stretch a little bit more today. Just checking in. You know, the routine stays the same, but checking in on what needs to be accomplished for the day. So again, about the consistent effort and finishing through in what you want to do and who you want to be. Definitely.
I think people need to have that time, because if you have a moment where, you know, for example, you know, you snap, or you get frustrated, or you get upset, or you go into this depression or something. They're funny.
Sorry.
Yeah. Good. No, you're good. People need to know why they responded the way they responded.
The root. It's the root of it.
People need to know why. And so I encourage everybody to take that time to not always, there's nothing to do, first of all. It's nothing to do. Take the time to get to know yourself a little bit more, a lot more. Yeah. And you don't have to be completely isolated for 24 hours. Just take the time to be quiet, you know, and just, you know, how does it feel to just be, like, just think sometimes, or just, and just enjoy your own company. You know, you become a better creative, better from where you are now to where you want to be. If you just take the time to enjoy the art of you, enjoy who you are.
The art of you.
The art of you. Yeah, that's like this trademark I have for the company. You know, and I encourage it all the time. You know, enjoy the art of you. You know, and stop feeling like you have to look a certain way, you know, or talk a certain way, or if someone's uncomfortable with how you are, they have to deal with it. You know, and that doesn't mean that you say disrespectful things or things that are not honorable or praiseworthy or loving. You should say things that are loving, say things that are praiseworthy, say things that are honorable. Absolutely, be respectful, but you shouldn't be second guessing how you're going to talk, you know, or what you want to say. Be yourself, and out of that, creativity will flow. You'll meet the right people, opportunities. Enjoy the art of you.
Absolutely. I'm like, mic drop. I don't have anything else to say. That's it.
You're so funny.
I'm like, yeah, it's it. But no, honestly, so many gems, so many takeaways. And you know, it's beautifully said and simply put, you know, something may be simple, but it's not easy. You know, the
Right.
art of
No,
you,
yeah, no, it's not
you
easy.
know, and that's what it is, but it's in the daily work. It's in
Yeah.
creating a plan. It's in showing up. It's in having moments to go back and to sit and to reflect and to see your home frequency. Who am I really when no one's around? Without the noise
Right.
at the core, and how do I
Yeah.
feel about who I am?
Yeah.
So you know, again, the art of being you. Stay true to you, and that I receive so much. I can't wait to come back and listen to this, and just take so much away from this. So thank you
Yeah, no
so
problem.
much.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you
Deeply
for having me.
appreciative. Of course, of course, of course, of
Everybody in the
course.
comments.
Awesome.
Thanks y'all for
Yeah, I
tuning
know,
in. We
right?
appreciate y'all so much.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I do hope we have more dialogues like this.
Yeah.
That's
Let's do it
real.
again.
Absolutely.
Let's do it
Absolutely.
again. You just let me know and I'll make myself available.
Awesome.
Perfect timing
Awesome.
to do
All
it.
right. Take care.
Everybody's at home.
Yeah, right. I'm like, I know you're there. So you're gonna be here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
of course. This was amazing. Thank you. Bless.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, peoples.